Welcome back to my channel, The Life of Jon Snow. Game of Thrones. Ned gave the baby the name Jon, after his great friend and tutor Jon Arryn, Lord of the Dale, whom he loved like an alternate father. The boy also grew up using the surname Snow, as it's customary for conceited Horsens in the north. In verity still, Jon isn't a bastard at all, as Rhaegar supposedly had his marriage to Alyonil and wedded Lyanna early life. Jon spent the coming 17 times being raised in Winterfell as Eddard's illegitimate son, alongside his true-born children with his woman. Understandably, Eddard no way told anyone, including Catelyn or Jon himself, who his mama was or indeed if she was still alive. When pressed by Robert, whom he couldn't deny an answer, Ned vaguely claimed that Jon's mama was a low-born woman named Wylla, whom he met during the war. Eddard no way treated Jon important else from his true-born children. Despite participating in a happy marriage, Jon's presence at Winterfell would serve as a constant source of disunion between Eddard and Catelyn. Catelyn no way manhandled Jon, but she was cold towards him, and avoided him whenever possible, viewing him as a living memorial of the one time that Eddard had lowered her. Catelyn would latterly confess to her son-in-law Talisa about how Jon caught the spell when he was a child, and she stayed with him through the night and supplicated to the gods to let him live out of guilt for preliminarily soliciting for his death, accepting that the boy was not to condemn for her hubby's sin, though it was still not enough to make her love Jon, commodity she'd ultimately come to lament. Due to his bastard status, Jon grew up feeling like a stranger at Winterfell. Although Ned would see that he was well treated, Jon's attendance at Winterfell's more formal occasions was defined, and he'd indeed be barred from sitting outside at the Lord's table with his family so as not to offend important guests. Else, Jon still lived better than numerous bastard-born children, and he was well raised by Eddard as his own. He was loved by his father and siblings, was no way empty or poor, lived in his father's castle, and had a noble's parenting. Jon entered a grand education from Maester Luwin, and a youthful Lord's Martial training from Winterfell's Master at Arms, Joe Roderick Castle. Of the Stark children, Jon was veritably near musketeers with Robb, given that they were roughly the same age, being regular companions in training and riding. He was also close with both Bran and Rickon, and was a friendly rival to Lord Eddard's ward Theon Greyjoy. Still, Jon's closest relationship was with Arya, who was an audacious pixie prone to mannish hobbies, also felt like a social stranger. In discrepancy, Jon's early relationship with Sansa was unwelcome, veritably much her mama's son. She was frosty and cold to him as well. If you are still watching this video, then please like, share and subscribe my channel. Season 1. Jon and Robb instruct Bran and archery when their father receives word about a captured renegade from the Night's Watch, for which the penalty is death. Jon accompanies his father, Robb, Bran, Theon, Roderick and Jory Castle, Roderick's Whoreson, out to the holdfast where the renegade will is being held. It is Bran's first time watching his father carry out an prosecution, but as the renegade is brought into position outside, Jon warns Bran not to look down, as their father will know. Jon praises Bran subsequently for keeping his countenance. On their way back to Winterfell, they find a dead direwolf, a species not seen south of the Wall in centuries, and her invigorated pups. Jon addresses entered into allowing the youthful Starks to borrow them, pointing out that a direwolf is the sigil of House Stark. Given that there are 5 direwolves and 5 true-born Stark children, it must be a sign that the Stark children are meant to have the pups. In order to make this point, Jon designedly leaves himself out of the count of Stark children. And when Bran asks about this, Jon responds that he's not a Stark. Just as they're about to leave still, he finds the Might of the Waste, an albino, which crawled down from its mama's cadaver. Theon remarks, "The Might of the Waste. That one's yours, Snow." Jon takes this direwolf as his own, naming him Ghost. Catelyn ensures that Jon, Robb and Theon are prepped for the appearance of Robert and Queen Cersei Lannister. Jon in particular is set against the altering of his appearance, as well as expressing antipathy against the royal family. When the Baratheon cortege arrives, Jon is present but isn't allowed to attend the posterior feed for fear of offending the royal guests. On Catelyn's suggestion, he waits outdoors in the yard venting his frustrations against a practice dummy. When Jon's uncle Benjen Stark arrives, Jon tells him that he has been allowing about it, and before his father leaves for the south, he wants to join the Night's Watch. Since they do not watch about rookies' histories and indeed a bastard can rise to positions of high honor in it, the Watch provides an easy escape from his life in Winterfell. He latterly meets Tyrion Lannister. As a dwarf, Tyrion knows what it's like to be an castaway, so he gives the youthful man some advice. No way try to hide what he's, for the world won't forget. Rather, he should wear the name Bastard openly, like armor, and also it can no way be used to hurt him. When Jon angrily asks Tyrion what he knows about it, Tyrion replies that all dwarfs are whoresons in their father's eyes. Before departing, Jon has a run-heft with Jaime Lannister, who infamously killed his forefather, the Frenetic King. Jaime sarcastically thanks him for guarding all of them from the fabulous monsters that allegedly live beyond the wall, in order to tease him. Before Jon departs for the wall, he says farewell to the unconscious Bran, who has been injured in a fall. He gives Arya a brand-name needle that he had made especially for her, advising her to stick them with the sharp end. Jon says he will miss her, and they both clinch. As he prepares the defile, Robb asks if Jon said farewell to Bran and assure Bran will survive. Jon says Starks are hard to kill, and Robb asks about his mama, and Jon assures him she was kind. Robb offers to visit him at the wall eventually, and they bid farewell with a clinch. At their parting on the King's Road, Eddard vows to tell Jon the verity about his mama the coming time they meet. Jon is accompanied by his uncle Benjen and Tyrion, who has expressed a desire to see the wall and urinate from the top of it before he dies. Ghost also accompanies Jon to the wall. At Castle Black, Jon's prospects of the Night's Watch are soon disappointed. Rather of a brotherhood of noble soldiers sworn to defend the realm from wildlings and white trampers. He realizes the Watch is a jilting ground for corporates and waste drills. He earns the hostility of Joe Alistair Throne, the master-at-arms in charge of training new rookies. He humiliates his fellow recruits with the superior fighting chops learned from Winterfell's master-arms. Over the course of numerous times, Benjen stands with Jon on his first watch and tells him that he is going to range north of the wall. Jon is keen to accompany him, but Benjen insists that he complete his training. Tyrion helps Jon see that he is no better than the rookies, but has been swung more advantages than them due to his grandparenting. Jon offers to train some of his new sisters. In Pippa and Gran accept. He also befriends the fat and erudite sissy Samuel Tarly when he arrives at Castle Black, and helps to cover him from the atrocity of Nuisance Thorn. Angrily tells Jon that going readily on Sam will not help him and will risk getting him killed in the coming downtime. After completing his training, Jon is instated into the Night's Watch, and swears his pledge before a weirwood heart tree on the north side of the wall. He is assigned to the servants rather than the rangers, and at first thinks it's due to his ongoing feud with Thorn. Still, Sam points out that Lord Commander Mormont has asked for Jon as his particular slavey, and may be fixing him for command. Jon is concerned when Benjen's steed returns to the wall riderless. Latterly, Ghost finds the corpses of 2 rangers assigned to Benjen, Othor and J for Flowers. Literacy of Eddard's imprisonment. Thorn taunts Jon about being Snake's bastard, causing Jon to draw a cutter, and wrathfulness. He's confined to diggings. Latterly, Othor's cadaver becomes a white and attacks Mormont. Jon saves Mormont's life by burning the white, earning an amnesty for his earlier misdemeanor. Mormont also gives Jon his Valyrian sword, Brand Longclaw. given that his own son Jorah fled into exile and left it behind. Jon ponders abandoning the Watch to join Robb's army when it marches against the Lannisters. But Aemon tells him that he chose to stay with the Watch, when he was also tested, as he's intimately a long-forgotten great-uncle of the frenetic king and was formerly known as Aemon Targaryen. But his entire family was killed at the end of Robert's rebellion. News of Eddard's prosecution reaches Castle Black. Jon incontinently leaves, meaning to join Robb and seek revenge for his father's death. Samuel Pidbar and Gren block him and move him to stay. Mormont tells Jon that the war against the White Trampers is more important than the Game of Thrones and King's War. He tells Jon that the Watch is marching beyond the Wall in force to find Benjen and learn the verity about the trouble. Jon swears to him not to essay to desert again and accompanies the colors as they set out. If you like this video, then please don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.